The NFC West has been the tightest division in all of football. 3 of us have all played in the NFC West, know a little bit about it. But, Justin, there's only 2 games separating first and last place. How do you see this division shaking out the rest of the way?
Look, it's the Arizona Cardinals. They got whatever it was from the bye week, whatever that food poisoning they had where they lost 3 straight. James Conner, the offense runs through him. Trey McBride is getting jiggy with it. Marvin Harrison, come on, we got to catch a fade in the back of the end zone. Kyler Murray is going to make the adjustments he needs to make. Let me tell you why the Arizona Cardinals are your NFC West champions this year. They go to Carolina next week, all right? They're beating Carolina. Bryce Young, yes, he's looked better. They're not beating the Cardinals. Then they go to LA. They smacked LA early on this season. Yes, LA was a little banged up, but the Arizona Cardinals will beat them and they will hold the tiebreaker. The Rams will still have something to play for the last week of the season. They're playing the Seahawks. The 49ers are going to be out of it. The 49ers have guys quitting on them in the third quarter. The 49ers are not the team that's going to show up and beat the Cardinals last week of the season. Cardinals will finish this season 10-7. So will the Rams, and the Arizona Cardinals with a tiebreaker are going to win the NFC West.
Well, Justin just hit on it, Jay. I would love to know your thoughts on the San Francisco 49ers just a few games back. Are they out of this race? Are they dead?
Dead. The issue is they're 1-4 in the division right now. So even if they catch up, they got to win all 3 to get to 9-8, which will probably put them in a tie, best case scenario, and they'll lose a tiebreaker most likely. So yeah, they're dead. They still got to play the Dolphins, who are dead, the Lions, who are still trying to get that number 1 seed, and the Cardinals, who Justin says are the best team since the 85 Bears. So yeah, I'd say they're dead, unfortunately, because they're a pretty good football team. But Kyle Shanahan will probably be traded to the Chicago Bears because he's done such a bang-up job with this year's team, and they'll move on and do some great things.
The interesting thing is, if we take the records out of this, right? I think everybody would have had the 49ers winning this thing before the season started. Injuries happen, circumstances happen, a lot of things happen. 3 fourth-quarter leads basically in a 5-game stretch, all squandered. They lose them all. Colt, if you're just looking at teams on film, just the 4 teams in this division, who wins the eye test?
The Rams. I'm with you, though. You start the season, everybody thinks the Niners are going back to the NFC Championship, find a way to get to the Super Bowl. I think right now the Rams are the best football team, and they're figuring out ways to win each week. They're rushing the ball well. They're averaging over 100 yards a game rush. They've been banged up all year. They're slowly starting to get a guy or 2 here back on the offensive line. They've got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back. Their defensive line, they're young, but they're legit. They're going to be good for a long time. They're starting to play well. I think overall they're extremely well coached. They're well prepared going into each game. And then you got Stafford, the gunslinger back there, like figuring out ways to win. He's good for maybe like a turnover or a pick or a bad decision a game, but the rest of the time, he makes unbelievable plays. And if you're going to hedge your bets on anybody in this division, I'm hedging my bets on Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I love that pick. But if you're new to this channel, make sure you drop a like, hit the subscription button, because if you hit the subscription button, it comes to your phone as a notification. When it comes to your phone as a notification, you get to hear these 4 voices. These 4 voices are so magical. It's around Christmas season, and it's just a bunch of magical voices. And boy, we got to 10,000 subscriptions last week. Let's go to 20,000. Let's go to 100,000. Let's take this thing to the moon. All right, Justin, you kind of already said it, but we're going to go back to it again. You think the Cardinals are going to win this? Give me every reason why they win this over the next 3 weeks.
I think they're going to lean on James Conner. They just got him signed. They got Buda Baker, who's flying downhill, making plays in the backfield. They are going to run the ball, and they have the easier schedule. They have 2 guaranteed wins. It's all going to come down to that game in LA versus the Rams. And they've already beat up on the LA Rams. The Arizona Cardinals have the blueprint to go beat them. Aaron Donald's not there, who had been Kyler Murray's little bit of the boogeyman. He can't come out of retirement. We've already found out that Aaron Donald has to stay retired. He's not coming to save the day. They were in a 12-6 game against the 49ers. The Rams easily could have lost that one. The Arizona Cardinals are going to win out, and they are going to win the NFC West at 10-7. Kyler Murray is going to shut everybody up, including Jay Gruden. And if that happens, Jay, I want you to get an Xbox and play against Kyler Murray in Call of Duty if the Cardinals win the NFC West. Will you do that, Jay Gruden?
I'm sure he'll be available. Yeah.
Why will he be available, Jay? Tell us who you think is going to win the NFC West.
He's always played Xbox from what I hear. That's just a rumor. I mean, hell, he's always on the thing. Just kidding. I know you don't always play Kyler. I'm just making a joke. But the whole thing with Arizona is if they finish 10-7, right? if Seattle goes 2-1 and they're 10-7, Seattle beat them twice, Justin. So they're see ya.
So they got to beat the Vikings and the Rams. All I'm saying.
I got to say it's got to be the Rams as well. I think the Jets is going to be a tough game. I really like Aaron Rodgers the last couple of weeks, man. He's been lighting it up. I mean, my God, he's throwing the ball very well. That's not going to be an easy game. Then they play the Cards. I think they'll beat the Cardinals, get to 9-7. And then I think it's going to be the last game of the year against Seattle, winner take all. Because I think Seattle might split against the Bears and the Vikes. They'll be 9-7. Both teams will be 9-7 going into the last game of the year, even though I picked Seattle. Picked the Vikings. But it could come down to that last game in which I think the Rams won the first time around. So Seattle beats the Rams the last game to decide. I don't know what the tiebreaker is. They'd have the same division record. They split in head-to-head.
No, it goes down to who has the better number one overall receiver based on Underdog's ranking.
Yeah, no, I think it goes to common opponents.
Got it.
I don't know who that is in that one, but I think the Rams. I think Colt nailed it on the head, man. Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua. That would be a good one. We'll call them that. Those two guys together. Kyron Williams, who nobody talks about when you talk about the Rams. I think he's their rock that'll lead them to the division title.
I think you nailed the pronunciations on that. That was awesome.
Great.
Colt, who do you have? LA Rams, I'm assuming?
I'm going with the Rams. You look, and we mentioned it, but you look at their schedule. They play the Jets, the Cardinals, the Seahawks. So they've got a tough one against the Jets that I think they'll find a way to pull out. And then they play, the division. I think they want to make a statement against the Cardinals. The Cardinals beat them 41-10 early in the season. They were banged up, lost a bunch of their guys. Cooper got hurt in that game. They'll get to play him in LA. And I think they're playing the best football when you look at the big picture of this division. They're starting to get a little more consistency in what they're doing on offense. Things are matching up, and defensively, they're sort of coming into their own. That front is just disruptive, and I think they're going to be a handful.
Yeah, the defense is very good. I'm going to stick with the Rams as well. I think their D-line, being so young, has only gotten so much better with experience over the year. But offensively is where they win, right? Offensively, I think McVay has done such a fantastic job. Colt, Jay, Justin, we've all talked about how good of a play caller McVay is and what he's done in game planning and getting these guys in the right position and the interchangeable matchups that you can get with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. That's the right pronunciations. Kyron Williams has been fantastic. They're hammering the shit out of the run game. Offensive line has gotten better. They are healthy at the right time. This is a team that is going to win the division and a team you do not want to see come playoff time.
They also get Higbee back. I don't know how much that's going to matter for them, but he's been a pretty big contributor over the years, and having a good, solid tight end, that's healthy. If he gets out there and gets 3 games under his belt, he could be an X factor as you move into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the segment was make a case for each team, Jay, and you just abandoned the Seahawks.
I said the Seahawks earlier. If you paid attention to the show, I talked about the Seahawks. I like them. I picked them against the Vikings. I said they're up and down. They can win the division. They can lose the last 3 games by 40. They can win the next 3 games by 40. I can't predict the Seahawks, Justin, but I do know this. I can't predict the Cardinals won't win at all.
You're like Leo DiCaprio in the Titanic, man. You just pushed him off the door and you just let him die in the cold, dark water.
Thank you, Justin. Pay attention.
The Rams are going to win the NFC West then. I mean, I picked the Rams 6 weeks ago.
Justin picks the Cardinals so he can stay in the good hometown graces, even though he's going to leave the hometown and go somewhere else.
How would I make the case for the Cardinals and pick against them? I think the Rams are going to win the NFC West for sure. We all do.
That's funny because you answered the question differently. You said Arizona's going to win it. They're going to win their last 3 games.
Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.